Isn't it beautiful? When life ends, it gives off a final lingering aroma. Light is but a farewell gift from the darkness to those on their way to die. I've been waiting, QAW, for a long time. Waiting for your birth, your growth, and the finality of today. We may all be headed straight to hell, but what better place for us than this? It's our only home. This is the Grand Reset. Sunday, October 24th, at the Scared Circle, it all ends.
Yeah. Good morning.
Hi. Hello. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Chloe. How are you this morning?
I'm excellent.
You're excellent.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, I slept pretty hard. So.
You slept pretty hard. Oh, I love those nights where you just are like, I'm out, and you're just
not
done.
Coming back.
I'm not coming back for at least 8 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know. 8 hours of sleep has been something that is like so foreign to me. Like I always get between like 5 and 7.
Oof.
Like
yeah.
that's pretty much where I am. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning.
Rachel and up and about this morning.
Yeah. Here's the thing about sleep is that it's actually so like 8 hours is the thing that they tell you. It's actually it's a range usually between 7 and 9 hours. There's something called a super sleeper who they literally don't need as much sleep as other humans.
Okay. Maybe that's me. Maybe that's my superpower. Maybe I'm a super sleeper.
Do you feel rested when you wake up?
I never feel rested ever.
Oh, well, that might not be you then.
I haven't felt rested since I don't know
since
the mid 90s. I mean, yeah, the mid 90s. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah.
There's a guy on TikTok that his whole bit is like comparing things of like, so you know when Mean Girls came out? So the difference between now and then is the same as the difference between Mean Girls and Back to the Future or something, just like puts it in perspective of like,
oh wow,
when we were growing up, we were like, oh shit, that's old. And now that's us.
Yeah. Those kind of historical like perspective type things where they're like George Washington and Genghis Khan were actually alive at the same time or something like that's not true. That's not one of those. But it like that kind of thing. Good morning, Sparky Boy Max. And how dare you miss your class?
How dare you, Sparky Boy
You should
Max?
apologize to Rachel in person. If I could, I'd give you the link to the show so you could just come onto the stream and apologize to Rachel in person, or at least over
in Twitch.
In Twitch for the internet to see.
I guess Sparky Boy Max is already apologizing over Twitch, so
it's true. Okay,
that's good.
We'll let it slide. Well, Rachel has not accepted the apology. The apology
Rachel
has been accepted.
The apology. I'm glad we sorted that out.
Oh my God, that's the kind of drama that you. I just dropped my pen on the floor. And I'm trying to pick it up with my toes. It's not working. Here we go.
You never know what's going to happen on this show, and this is the kind of drama that we bring to you.
Yeah, that's why we're called the TNT of Twitch, because we know drama.
We know drama. Is Rachel gonna forgive Sparky Boy Max?
Yes.
Is Matt gonna be able to pick up that pen with his toes?
Yes.
The only way you can find out is by tuning in.
Yep. Tune in. We have, friends, we have a jam-packed show today.
Jam-packed.
Just full of stuff. But before we bring on our first guest, I just want to, I like to have this time to kind of check in with Chloe, see how your week is going, and see, where your headspace is at.
Yeah. Well, it's going pretty good. I'm having a little bit of a no bones week.
Oh yes, no bones. That blew up, the whole no bones thing.
Well, and here's the thing. So I'm going to explain this to everyone now, because
for those of you that aren't, for the I don't know. I feel like if you're on Twitch, if you're watching Twitch, you know what no bones is, but maybe you don't.
Well, but so it makes me crazy because, like, once something like this happens, people start referencing it, but they don't cite the source. And so I had to go down this little, like, internet rabbit hole to be like, what do you mean no bones? But I figured it out, and then I informed my friends, and I'm going to, so that everybody knows what's going on, I'm going to inform you right now. Bones or no bones is referring to, there is a 13-year-old pug on TikTok named Noodle.
Mm-hmm.
And each morning, his owner comes to his little dog bed and sort of props him up into a seated position. And if he takes his hands away and the dog stays sitting up, it's a bones day. And if
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to yet another round of No Bones, the game where we find out if...
Sorry. Go ahead, keep talking, Chloe. Sorry.
If he takes his hands away and the pug falls over back to sleep, it's a no bones day.
Bones day. This was yesterday. Yesterday was a no bones day.
So basically what has happened, so if it's a bones day, right, carpe diem, the world is your oyster, have a great time. If it's a no bones day, it's a self-care day. Maybe get cozy, get a cup of tea, hot chocolate, whatever, and be gentle with yourself, take care of yourself. So I like it because, like, a no bones day is not actually a bad day.
No, not at all.
It's just a day to. It might be a little bit of a struggle day, but it's just a reminder to, like, take care of yourself. But it's insane the thing about it, though, is that it's insane because it's basically taken astrology and compressed it into a binary of a dog, an old dog, deciding whether or not they want to deal with the day.
Yeah. I'll take it's like Groundhog Day every day.
It's Groundhog Day every day, and who doesn't love
3.1 million followers on that
Good Lord.
TikTok as well. That's insane. But yeah, people have really taken a shine to Bones No Bones. They've started duetting the pup, and we'll get into that later in the show when we get into the our highly anticipated TikTok portion of the show.
TikTok time.
I've got some good TikToks today.
Yeah.
But before we do that, let's bring on our first guest because he's waiting patiently in our green room, eating our snacks, and
That we
just
so graciously provided.
yes, just we really strive to make our guests comfortable on the show. So let's welcome comedian Chris Nakis. Chris, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for
morning.
providing number one dad mugs for me.
Yeah. Well, we do a lot of research on our guests, so we make sure
that's the whole
that
reason we've got you on
In
the
my
show
rider.
because we heard you were number one dad.
Right. Yep.
So-
Did it.
I hope that was correct. Are you in fact a dad?
Yes. Yes. There's no stolen valor on the mug.
You didn't get that at like a garage sale.
I actually won the title.
Nice.
Number one dad.
Excellent.
Yep.
Thank
It was
goodness.
a chainsaw fight with all the other contenders.
Yep.
Oh,
And you got to
great.
play catch.
Yeah, I'm actually getting ready to become a dad myself for the first time.
Excellent.
My wife is due in February, so I'm
Perfect.
we're starting to get like the boxes that we need to take things out of and put in the nursery, which is also my husky's room. So she's gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Your husky's being replaced.
Do you have a handshake plan for child and dog?
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean by handshake?
So like I'll load it with my example.
Yeah.
Is we brought the baby's blanket home from the hospital before the baby and let the
Nice.
dog lose its mind sniffing that. And then when the kid got there, they said, "I've smelled this before."
Right.
That kind of thing. Like that's all we knew to do. But
Yeah, I've seen. I don't like to get parenting advice from TikTok, but I have seen a few of those where they bring they'll bring the carrier in the house and let the dog smell the carrier. But that's a great idea. We'll probably end up doing that because the husky is like 3. So she's full of energy and everything. The other dog, which is at my feet right now, she ignores me until the show starts, and then she's immediately at my feet staring up at me with this like snaggle tooth where she's like, just staring at me going, hey,
Hey,
pay
well, so
attention.
maybe it'll be the same thing of like when you have the kid, she's gonna be in your face now that you're paying attention to something else.
Probably. So how old is your are your children / child?
2 and 4
Oh, so
They
you
are
got
like-
so
everywhere. They're everywhere.
yeah, super close together too. So it's
Yeah.
you're getting all that massive kid energy.
Yeah,
I
you're getting it
try
out of
to
the
like-
way.
Yeah, it's just the only thing is when your anger or any of your problems are passed on isn't that bad, but when they're then reflected back at you in like a tinier version, that's the bad part. That is just it's just damning. It's you really like I've improved just by having that mirror held to myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, has that been a thing where you just like they do something and you're like, oh, that's totally something I would do.
Right. You're like, hey, it's okay. You know, the cup of water wasn't the color you wanted. You don't need to lose your mind about it. And you go, wait a minute, I get bent out of shape over nothing. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, that terrifies
hate
me.
when I
Like
don't
that
feel
aspect
good.
of parenthood terrifies me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm going to look into the abyss and it's going to stare back at my
It stares
face.
right back. It just right through you.
I'm not going to
Say,
know.
Matt, chill out.
Yeah, Matt, get your shit together and stop freaking out.
Yes.
So, where are you calling us from this morning, Chris?
I live in a town called Mars, Pennsylvania. We are
Mars,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
we're just north of Pittsburgh.
Okay. All right.
So,
go ahead.
how long have you been in Mars?
Less
How
than
long
a
have you
year.
been on Mars?
Yes, yeah, we don't say in, we say on, you're right? Less than a year. And so I grew up in Cleveland. Nobody wants my whole backstory, but Cleveland.
No,
is
we
home.
do actually. That's
And
what we.
so
Hey, I'm from Cleveland.
all right, then we do want. Where in Cleveland are you from?
Well, it was a very short span of time. I was in Shaker Heights, but it was like,
Awesome.
yeah, it was like
very
age
cool.
0 to 2.
Perfect.
We like to bring up the Midwest at least once a show because
Good.
we're both from the Midwest. So
Matt, where are you from?
I'm from Illinois originally.
Beautiful.
And then coming back, I've been in Boston now.
What
for
part of
about,
Illinois?
7 years. Central, like right in the middle of the cornfield part.
Yeah.
Where
Is
it's
it
just
Peoria?
like,
That's all I know is Peoria.
well, I'm actually I'm closer to Peoria than I am like Chicago.
Right, because everyone just says Chicago.
Yeah. But Peoria is a big stand-up town. Like there's a lot of stand-up that goes on in Peoria, Illinois.
Of course, Richard Pryor was from there.
Mhm.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And Jim Thome, who played in Cleveland baseball,
yeah.
which is a weird two people that are just burned into my mind when I hear Peoria. Very cool. And Boston's the coolest place to live.
It's not bad. It's not bad. You take some of the, you dial the Red Sox fans down by about 5 points, and it's a pretty chill place to live. But other than that, they run pretty hot out here.
They're at a constant simmer.
Really, they are. It's like you never know when the water's going to go from those little bubbles to those big bubbles.
The people hanging from lampposts and flipping cars.
Yeah, just setting things on fire. So what took you to Mars?
So we just wanted to be back near family. And, my wife's family's Pennsylvania, my family's Ohio, so we got close.
Nice.
So because of just ignorant football rivalries that were burned into my brain as a child, I don't tell people I'm from Pittsburgh or I live in Pittsburgh now. I really focus on Mars, and it's a more interesting name anyhow. It
truly is.
Yeah, there's a flying saucer statue in the center of town, and it's,
is there really? So the town really leans into the whole name.
We had like 2 months ago was Mars's. I'm going to call it Lunar New Year, which is not correct wording. It was the Mars New Year, which happens, I guess, every 2 years. It gets around the sun. I don't know, but there's a New Year celebration for the planet in the town of Mars.
I love that. I love that.
Incredible. Wait, so did somebody name it Mars, and then they leaned into it, or did somebody get there and was like, I'm gonna build a planet city?
I have failed to Wikipedia, and now at this point I'm not going to. I need to develop my own theory.
It's more fun yeah. Just imagine.
Yeah, but it's like they had one of the chief engineers from the NASA's Mars rover project come speak, and then they also had like mom selling her homemade pierogies. Like it was a very Western Pennsylvania vibe.
Were they at least red? Were they like red pierogies? Like,
great.
You could like add a little food coloring to the taters, and you're all.
That could have been something, missed opportunity.
Well, I mean, there's always 2 years.
2 years.
I was going to say next year, but
yeah, whenever it gets around.
Next Mars year.
Right. Yeah, no, I love towns that just lean into it, like Salem. Salem, Mass. Everything is just witch themed, even though like witches probably don't like care for Salem. I would think that that they wouldn't think that it's a friendly town at this point, but they're all over it now.
But like people who are into witchy stuff but not actual witches are into Salem.
That's exactly it. You have to like witchcraft and Dunkin' Donuts, and then you'll be
maybe saltwater taffy.
Ooh, yes, good choice.
Good stuff there. Salem was mean. Imlev is Imlev. Hi, Imlev.
Okay, Salem is awesome if it's not October.
Yeah,
it was.
This is the month that you stay away from that.
Right.
Yeah. It's like they've got a really cool. So don't go to witch. There's a witch museum there that's like so depressing. Because like I went there and I was like, yeah, witch stuff, and then they were like, people were killed, and I was like, oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
There's a really creepy wax museum there that we went into, and the wax statues are all just like they're like, it's creepy already because it's Salem, but they're just like creepy in and of themselves. Just, red blotchy faces and, looking crazy. It was nuts.
I feel like once you get dust on a wax figure, it's hard to get the dust off. It's going to stick to it. I don't know exactly how that wax feels.
I don't know how wax figures work.
It doesn't seem like they can keep those clean. How do you don't want to, it's not a statue. You can't
like a feather
Windex it or something. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Maybe it's just they have these big things of canned air, like air compressors that they can just.
Oh, I bet they do. That makes more sense. I honestly, like a lot of things that I buy for my home, I take a minute I look at it and I'm like, how hard is it going to be to get the dust off of this? Like, can I clean this? If I can't clean it, I'm not buying it.
We have someone in the chat that actually used to work with those wax statues. She says they were her coworkers, which leads me to believe that those wax statues 100% come to life, like in Night at the Museum. So, MLab, if you could put in the chat how you cleaned them, that would probably put Chris's mind.
So interested to have that.
Finally get some sleep. Now, Chris, you're a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
How's this is a small you live in a small town. Yeah, how's stand-up out like in that situation? Like where you're living? Like where do you go and do shows? Is there a big call for stand-up in Mars, Pennsylvania?
Mars, no, not that I know of. There might be a bar show. And so I moved from Portland, and Portland had a very big like bar show kind of scene too. Mm-hmm. They had a big club, but that's what I think it's going to be out here. There's some. It's changing. It's rapidly evolving here. The biggest club for like independent comedy closed, and people are trying to fill that space. And I'm new here, so I really also have no idea what I'm talking about. But that's the feel that I get, and it's
not a lot
of
weird comedians on Mars.
It's
just Matt Damon trying to grow corn.
It's weird just being not feeling like I want to go sit in a crowded room for the beginning of this too. So I'm easing my way back in.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can do. You can just kind of dip a toe in the pool and be like, okay, this is what I'm comfortable with, or this is what I'm not. Did you do a lot of Zoom stuff over the? Have you been doing a lot of like Zoom shows and things? I
loved the Zoom shows. I know they were, not comedy, of course, but there was like the not finding parking did it for me. I said, "Oh, my car stays right where it is, and I'm at the show on time." And then when I'm done,
you're home.
That was good. Otherwise, that human connection that you get out of live comedy, that is the true value of it, is gone, of course. But I loved the convenience of it.
Yeah, but I mean, as a stand-up, you're pretty much on stage by yourself anyway, so you might as well be comfortable while you're doing it and not having to deal with actual vocal hecklers.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they can put stuff in the chat, but I mean,
just mute them. You can mute them, and you know why I really think I never dealt with any disturbance. First of all, you weren't ambushing anybody. You weren't like showing up into their space if it was like a bar show. But also their names are at the bottom, and it was so like powerful. If you knew a heckler's name, you could own the situation, and it was so good. If somebody was, you did have the accidental hecklings of like somebody forgot they weren't muted, and so you would just say, Gloria Henderson. You're talking, you could just call them out and they would go, how does he know my name? Because it's underneath the picture of your face.
Gloria Henderson, I'm Googling you right now because I'm sitting at my computer and I can do that. Here are some facts that I know about you.
I just found out where you went to high school. Yeah.
Is this you?
Yeah, you just pop up a picture. Is this you? Shut the hell up. Now you have. I watched a little bit of your. You've got a really great video that's right on the front page of your Twitter there, called "Swimmingly."
Yes.
I'm going to put the link in the chat, but like set that up because it's a really cool video.
So when we were stuck doing Zoom shows, I said I want to do something, getting itchy, and what I had done was I had put together a 5-minute set, and I kind of say this in the beginning of the video. I did a 5-minute set entirely about swimming, and I thought the fact that I was talking about swimming the whole time, like one subject, the audience was just going to be amazed, and then they were going to start finding it funny how often did he keep coming back to swimming, and nobody liked it, and so it's in that process. Like I wrote a lot, and then I said, boy, I have maybe like 15-20 minutes on swimming, which is an absurd chunk for somebody, especially at my level of stand-up. And so I said, let's make it into a special. So we filmed it in the backyard, so we could be outside. People could be distanced, and I highly recommend completing a project. I've never done it before.
It feels great.
It just feels good to get it out there. Yeah. No, and you have an amazing backyard. I was mentioning this before the show. Like, the videos, as you said, you filmed it in your backyard, and I was like, wow, for a stand-up, he's got a really nice backyard.
I married well, and and everything's nice and neat in Portland. It's a planned city. There's an urban growth boundary where, like, if you go past this one road, you'll see farms on one side and then just crammed in development, like houses on the other side.
Oh, fun.
So Portland's like a really condensed suburban area. So we had this, I thought it was very cute backyard. And we were saying it's AstroTurf. The grass is turf. Because no one has that big of a yard, and we were ready to rip it out and put in grass because we're from Ohio and Pennsylvania. It's grass in the yard.
People have grass in those parts.
You have live plants in your yard.
Yeah, and it had. We turned out that it rains 7 months a year there, so that's why there's turf in the backyard, because you're just have a muddy mess.
Yeah, you try to plant grass and it rains and then it washes all the grass seeds away. You've just gotta. It's like the backyard.
Some really thirsty plants.
Yeah,
ferns, beautiful ferns.
Then your backyard looks like land before time. It's just,
mushrooms, and
I'm not mad about that.
Wonderful thing,
right?
To put some dinosaur statues back there.
Oh, yes. What? And we had a gnome statue, but what you guys were talking about earlier reminded me. My kids loves dinosaurs, right? We're in the dinosaur age, and
which I can't wait for. I'm very excited about that.
Really cool, and you realize that you didn't know any of the names properly when you were a kid, but that we are closer in time to T-Rex than T-Rex was to Stegosaurus.
What? That's not a thing. Are you?
Yeah. It's something they're like 70 million years. T-Rex was like 70 million years ago, and then the Stegosaurus was like 150 or something.
What?
Crazy.
But in Jurassic Park, they were in the same.
They were constantly fighting.
They were just there.
They were all swinging tails at each other.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That is the Mean Girls Back to the Future of
dinosaurs.
So insane. I love that so much.
Oh my god.
Well, and the other thing about it too is that we know way more about dinosaurs than we did when we were growing up. Like, scientists know a lot more about dinosaurs now, and like everything that we have pictured is not correct.
Yes,
it's not correct, because a lot of dinosaurs had feathers.
Right. I yelled that at my daughter every day. I go, you don't understand. When I was a kid, the Velociraptor didn't have feathers.
We didn't know.
We just didn't know.
And they're guessing on the colors. They are just guessing on the colors. Those will change over your life. Don't believe it. And when you color it in,
everything.
There's no right or wrong. Color whatever you want. Yes.
Yeah. You can make that dinosaur blue. You might be right.
Yes.
Yeah. Dinosaurs aren't just green and brown.
We lived in a green and brown era of dinosaurs.
We did. All dinosaurs were green, brown, or gray. Like
Yeah.
those were the colors of their scaly hides.
Mm-hmm.
They did not have feathers. Yeah, and it's like when they came out with the whole Romans, like the Roman statues, were like when they like put
Roman
them in
statues
color,
were painted.
and they were painted all these colors, and they're not like
Yes,
that white
yes.
alabaster
Right.
kind of thing. You're like, what is this?
The Romans were tacky.
They were
The Romans
tacky.
did not understand subtlety.
Well, here's the thing: is that like it makes sense though, right? Like we do as humans, like we do things in color.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was a base. It wasn't the whole project.
That's so true. We think like all those like that the Greek and Roman things are just marble. All they had was marble. Like they didn't put
like everything was
they
white.
didn't put a
You can't
table
keep
in
that
there.
clean.
Yeah, subtlety was invented in 1983. Thank you, Rachel, for that.
Really, in the 80s?
Yeah, not until the 80s. So, Chris, do you have any Zoom shows coming up, or do you have any?
No, I'm retired.
If the people want to see you on the internet, where is the best place for them to go?
Find me on probably the Instagram or the Twitter machine, and hopefully I have some other small projects brewing, but that my batting average for completing them is I've done one out of however many. So I think I like putting a bow on things and getting them out there now. That's my new thing.
That's your new
Finishing
thing. That's
stuff?
for the next Mars New Year. You've got 2 years for each resolution, which is fantastic. So much more time.
I'll be honest. If you did a show about dinosaurs, I wouldn't be mad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really think I don't want to become this person that just does mini specials in their backyard, but the more boring of a subject and the more I can talk about it and the more I can do it in my backyard, it's going to happen again.
Yeah, absolutely. So keep an eye out for Chris's new backyard special, Dinosaurs, to go along with the one he has now called Swimmingly on YouTube.
For AstroTurf.
Yeah. Chris, thanks so much for joining us today, and I'm looking forward to having you back on the show at some point.
Awesome, thanks, man. Thanks.
All right, take care now.
Bye.
Oh my goodness, and the special is great. Like I was watching a little bit of it before the show today, he's basically standing in a kiddie pool, and I thought there was water in the pool, and I was like, no, there's a microphone in there. I was like, I thought it was going to be a bit where he just kind of grabs onto the mic and then immediately just dies. But I knew he wasn't dead because he was on the show.
What a bit!
What a bit! Way to commit.
Commitment.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Yeah,
Let's,
you know what? So speaking of how we pictured things, right, and dinosaurs being brown and green type thing, Neanderthals were gingers.
What?
Yeah.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Who told you that? Like, where did you find that? What? Cite your sources.
Oh boy, it was a long time ago. It was an article somewhere. I would have to double check my sources, but actually, you know what? I've got the internet right here.
I did look up a little bit about. You can do a quick little Wikipedia search about Mars, Pennsylvania. There's the spaceship that he was talking about right there.
Wait. Oh,
did
wow.
Did you see it?
Yeah, that's, I'll be honest, a little smaller than I thought it was going to be. But it's in color.
No kid.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's in color.
See, humans like color. So Neanderthals lived in Northern Europe, so we're used to this depiction of them having dark features and dark hair and stuff. They lived in Northern Europe, so it would stand to reason that their skin is lighter, and like there tends to be a correlation between like how much how much there seems to be a correlation between like Neanderthal DNA and red hair.
Huh? How about that?
So your redheaded friends are all Neanderthals.
Are all Neanderthals. It's all Neanderthals. Yeah, we're gonna get a big group together and we're gonna road trip to Mars. It's gonna be great.
I'm
It
so
only takes 30
excited.
seconds to. It only takes 30 seconds to get there.
Okay.
That's
All right.
sorry. That is
You did
is
that.
directly ripped off from the film Pop Star, the Lonely Island movie Pop Star. And I said that because MLab's in the chat, and MLab loves that movie as much as I do.
Oh yeah, going back. So MLab did say her museum definitely did not clean the black statue. So we don't know. We have not gained any information on how wax
Those statues
were cleaned.
were filthy.
Disgusting.
Well, I mean, who's touching them though? Who's touching the statues? Like nobody should be. Like I wouldn't want
Nobody
to touch
should
the
be.
statues. Right.
I'm sure some people are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't trust things. I don't like things that you can't clean. Like this is a fabric lampshade. I'm like.
Can you not clean the fabric? You can vacuum it, can't you? You can get
I
like
get,
a little.
Yeah, you can. I guess you can. But it's like, I don't know. Am I gonna do that?
Just because I can doesn't mean I will.
Like it's got to be as simple as possible. We're gonna check another box for the show right now. I'm gonna talk about ADHD.
There you go. We talk about the Midwest. We talk about ADHD, and what like, I'm sure we talk about
shoehorn Avatar in there.
Yeah, we'll get Avatar, and I'm gonna be playing some TikToks here pretty soon. So
Perfect.
if when Tina Talent gets back from Rome, we'll have to give her the job of giving us a bingo card because some of the other shows have bingo cards.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Yeah. So with ADHD, so like one of the struggles that we have is that like a lot of people, so neurotypicals think of a task and they're like, this is one task. And for ADHD, it's like, no, this is a bunch of things I have to do, right? So if you go and get a glass of water to drink, you're going to get a glass of water to drink. That's one action. For an ADHD person, it's like, I got to go into the kitchen. I got to open the cabinet, take the glass out, close the cabinet, put the water in the glass, and then drink it, and then put it in the dishwasher. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. It's a lot that goes into. There's a lot that goes into stuff.
Yeah. So for me, cleaning, if I can use a microfiber cloth on it, then we're happy. If I gotta bust out a separate attachment for this thing,
yeah, it's kind of
it'll happen, but like not that often.
That's how I am with the blades of our fan, like our ceiling fan.
Oh,
like I look at the blades of our ceiling fan, and there's so much gunk on. I'm like I sleep under this. I'm like, what is wrong? It's
moving? It's giving off.
Yeah. I'm like,
you gotta clean it. You gotta clean it.
No, we do. We do. Just sometimes it gets a little gunky. Evidently the guy from Ghost Adventures came in to MLab's museum and touched all the wax statues, which checks out because I believe the guys from Ghost Adventures, and this might be a
Ghost Adventures.
Ghost Adventures, like those.
Is this like a ghost hunter show?
Yeah.
Okay.
They kind of strike me as the people that would just kind of go in and just touch things because they can. Like, look, dude, just because you're looking for ghosts doesn't mean you have like you're not that much of a badass. You're looking for ghosts.
I liked Ghost Hunters.
That guy was a dick, wasn't he?
No. Ghost Hunters was well.
Who's the guy?
It's been a long time since I watched it. A lot of my worldview has changed. One of
the guys that like does one of those haunting shows.
Yeah.
Is a tool bag, from what I understand.
I remember Ghost Hunters being nice, and I also liked that they tried to, they were actually trying to debunk things, right? They were like, yeah, we believe in ghosts, but we're gonna check everything else out first to make sure that it's not just like pipes or something. And I think maybe they were plumbers or something like that, so they knew their stuff.
Yeah, Ghost Hunters was a it was an A&E show. This is a different. The guy I'm thinking about is not this guy. It's a different show. I don't know what ghost show it was,
Which
but
ghost show?
like he's just the guy that's like, we're gonna go into the ghost house and we're gonna meet some ghosts, and he's
a man who is convinced of his own opinion.
Yeah, it's shocking. I know, right? I mean, it's that time of year, though.
It's ghost. It's ghost
to,
time
to go and look for those kind of spooky things.
Oh no!
What are you? Are you doing Halloween? Are you doing anything for Halloween?
Yeah, there's some Halloween shenanigans. I think we might be having a trick or treat over here, which has. So we'll have candy for the kids, but we will also have some adult beverages for adult trick-or-treaters.
Excellent.
And then one of my other friends is having a Halloween party in her yard, so I might go to that. I have not figured out a costume. I have a bunch of costumes that I could pick from or put together. But I don't know. I always get these big ideas about Halloween, and then I don't ever put all the work in. Because I just timing. I forget, and then it's it's here.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah. And so I have here's the options of the costumes that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Khaleesi costume.
Ah, yes.
I have a Black Widow costume.
Mm-hmm.
Which could be pretty easily, most of the time when I would wear the Black Widow costume, people would ask me if I was Catwoman, so I could add some ears to it and be Catwoman.
Be Catwoman, yeah.
And then I have a Monty Python and the Holy Grail Black Knight costume with a detachable arm.
That's fantastic. Did you make that or did you get it somewhere?
I got it in college. I've had this costume since college.
I love it. I love that. That's fantastic.
So great. It's a little uncomfortable because you have to the shirt goes, so there's one sleeve and then the shirt goes over your other arm so you can detach the fake one.
I went to a Halloween party once where the guy was dressed up like the Zoltan booth from the movie Big. And it was just he was Zoltan in the. I think it's Zoltan, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
He was, but he was just made this box, and he couldn't go into the house. It was an indoor-outdoor kind of party, but people would have to bring him stuff from the the snacks and the drinks and everything.
So funny
because he was just inside this box. I think maybe Zoltar. It's either Zoltar or Zoltan.
Yeah. I think maybe Zoltar. Yeah, I love that. That's great. Did you ever see? So there was
It is Zoltar.
It was a tale, a legend on the internet about these college guys who went trick-or-treating, and they carried a door with them. So they would knock on the door, the person will open the door, and then they would have their door. And then the person at the house has to knock on their portable door, and then they're like, "Oh, lovely costumes, here's some candy." They were reverse trick-or-treating.
I love that.
I love that. Good. It's so good.
I've always wanted to get a car and make it look like a pirate ship, and then dress up like pirates and go and raid other people's parties, and steal their candy and their booze and just
get out of there.
Just get out of there.
Get the booty and go.
Or I think it would be fun to get a bunch of people and dress them up like farmers and townsfolk and carry torches and pitchforks and chase around other people dressed like Frankenstein or Dracula. You find like the movie monsters, and you're like, get them, you know, and just go after them like an angry mob.
Oh, that's fun.
That was
That's
fun.
great.
You know what else is a good costume? I love when people dress their puppers up. And since we've got just a couple minutes here, I want to. There's actually a puppy song about him dressing up his puppers.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And of course,
Yeah.
we're gonna.
Well, so, and that's the other idea that I had is I could be, so we're going to check the avatar box right now. I could either be Katara or Korra. If I'm Katara, I could dress Buddy Joe up like Appa. And if I'm Korra, I could dress Buddy Joe up like Naga, her polar bear dog, which would be a much easier costume. It would just be him. Maybe put a little saddle on him.
Just make a little saddle to put on him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so. Yeah, that's great. You should get him one of those costumes where it's his head, but it looks like he's got like a body, just like a pirate.
He would be so perfect for that because his trot is like he's got a lot of movement. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
All right. Here's the Halloween puppy song.
Uh-oh. We gotta turn the sound on, I think.
Oh, you can't hear it, can you?
Mm-mm.
Hold on. I've got it muted here. There we go. Here we go.
Every Halloween, it's such a spooky scene, but there's no need to scream, cause we ain't causing trouble. All the puppy ghouls are looking super cool under a big full moon, doing the pumpkin shuffle. The pumpkin shuffle. The pumpkin shuffle. It's time to trick or treat, so move your tiny feet, start moving to that beat and do the pumpkin shuffle. So put your costume on and start having fun. Come on, everyone, let's do the pumpkin shuffle. The pumpkin shuffle. The pumpkin shuffle.
I love that so much.
Oh, isn't that great?
Buddy Joe, do the pumpkin shuffle.
I love yeah.
He's sleeping.
Check out puppy songs. If you haven't checked out puppy songs, you should look at them. Follow them. Rachel, could we get the puppy songs people onto the show? I would love to. We should reach out to them. Maybe try to slide into their DMs. Those TikTok DMs.
Oh, that would be dope.
For some get maybe a musical guest in here. Rachel's like on it.
Doing it.
Yeah. We're doing it.
Yeah,
we're making it happen. Fantastic. Well, today is actually a 2-guest show, which I'm very excited about. We haven't had a 2-guest show in a while, so it's nice to. We'll have we've got a couple guests. Our next guest, very excited to bring him on the show. We're gonna talk video games. We're gonna talk. We're gonna nerd out a little bit. Let's welcome to the show Joseph Whittington. Joseph, good morning.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, not bad. Where are you calling us from this morning?
I'm in Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow. We're like because the guy that was just on the show, he's from near there. He's from Mars, which evidently is close to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I have no idea where anything is. The entire time I've been living here, we've been on lockdown.
Oh, yeah. That's the kicker. So did you move during the pandemic, or did you move just right before?
Yeah, I moved like peak pandemic in like August of last year.
Oh man.
And that couldn't have been fun.
Yeah. I mean, I moved in August last year, and it was only a couple blocks, and that was still like surprisingly difficult because you couldn't just like get your friends to come help you.
Because they could all be covered in COVID.
They could all be covered in it. Surfaces full of COVID.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad because I was moving from college, so I just shipped everything, and then I took all my clothes in suitcases.
Where did you
that's
move?
good.
Where did you move from? Like, how far did you have to? How far did you have to go?
It was a pretty deep thing. Sorry. It was from Orlando to Pittsburgh.
Oh wow, that's a jaunt. And
We'll
how's
visit.
the? So this will be your what, second winter up this way?
Yeah, it's gonna be my second winter up here.
Man, that are you used to it yet, or is it is it a thing where you're like, no, send me back to Orlando?
Yeah, I mean, I'm from New York, so it's not like
Oh, okay.
Okay,
bad.
good.
Okay, that makes sense. So now we were talking just a little bit before the show, and you said that you work on video games. Did you start doing that down in Orlando, or did you like? Is this something that you've just started doing, moving up here to the Pittsburgh area?
Yeah. When I was in Orlando, I was studying game development,
Okay,
and then I got hired by a game studio, so I moved up here.
nice. Are you? Can you? I'm sure you can. What's the game studio?
Shell Games.
Shell Games. Okay. What could you name a couple of their titles? I don't know if I've played any of their games.
They mostly make like small VR games. We recently shipped a spy game called I Expect You to Die, Part 2.
I
That's a
Expect
cool
You to
name.
Die Part 2. What is that? What is that?
It's kind of like a VR game where you're like a spy, and we put you in situations where you have like a few minutes to figure out how to like escape or stop something, or people die or you die.
Oh, so it's kind of like an escape room type concept.
Yeah, it's kind of like a VR escape room type experience.
Oh, that's
Where you
so
die
cool.
super easily.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to die.
Those games get me because I always die right away, and I'm like, "Rah!" I just get anybody who watches this channel and watches me play video games knows that I'm not great at them. I enjoy playing them, but people like to put me in situations like in GTA 5 online where we have to do the parkour races with the cars and everything, and I get stuck at the very beginning, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm also very bad at games. I'm not like a gameplay developer.
Uh-huh.
I'm a computer graphics programmer, so I
Okay.
make things look pretty. I don't necessarily do gameplay.
Nice. And that can make or break a game, right? If it doesn't, like, if it's not visually appealing, people don't necessarily want to play it.
Yeah, I've noticed with VR though, they don't care as much
Hmm.
because
Oh,
it's
interesting.
more of a new experience. So like, we don't have like a lot of super high end VR experiences yet.
Oh yeah, so it's kind of like when it's like, if we look back on CGI from the early 2000s now, we're like, oh, what is this? But at the time we were like, holy bananas, this is mind blowing.
Yeah, you go back and watch the movie Twister with.
Oh my god, I weirdly
do you-
loved that movie.
Do you remember that movie? Have you
Yeah.
seen that, Joe?
Yeah, one thing that I find interesting about that movie is everything was like hand animated. When the building was being destroyed, they hired someone for like 2 months to sit down there and like manually animate everything on the house that was like being destroyed.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that sounds like an insane amount of work.
it was, but it still holds up today in terms of VFX.
Does it really? I haven't seen it in forever. I remember seeing it in the like I saw it in the theater when it came out. I was like, I'm gonna go see this movie because I think tornadoes are awesome. Like
yeah.
they're crazy.
I think I was into that movie like because I lived in Kansas for a while when I was growing up, and I was like, I gotta lean into this.
Yeah,
Or
lean in the
something.
whole tornado thing.
Like, could they really gather that? Like, I don't know. I think I was really like, oh, they're definitely researching tornadoes this way in real life.
I love that they had Carrie Elwes as the bad guy in that. Well, I mean, the tornadoes were the real bad guys. I think they were
Tornadoes are the real villain.
yeah, they were the villains of the film. But Cary Elwes was like he was like the competing scientist to Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. It was Cary Elwes and his motley crew of black SUVs and
remember that.
yeah,
It's so funny.
yeah. So Joseph, are you so you say you're not good at video games. Do you like playing video games though? Or are you like, do you?
I do, but I'm kind of in like a pretentious way because it's like I play the games that I consider to be like a visual walkthrough type thing.
Mhm.
So I'm a big fan of like the Naughty Dog series of like Uncharted and Last of Us, and the Telltale games and anything from Quantic Dream.
Oh man, I tried playing one of the Walking Dead Telltale games. I don't remember which one it was, but I kept getting attacked by this dog that was like I was trying to give him food and he ate the food and then lunged at me, and it was like, oh god, it was a little like startling, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna play this game anymore. It freaked me out. It freaked me out. I'll go back to my Fallout games, which are, you know, I don't know, a little bit easier to control.
Yeah. The Walking Dead series is I think it's their most successful game series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did those. They did Batman. They did a bunch of Telltale Batman games, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, the Batman series. I'm not sure how well that sold, but it sold enough for them to finish the season, so I think it did pretty well.
Yeah, and then they did a Borderlands. They did a like the Tales from the Borderlands, which I don't know that did that well, but I love the Borderlands games, so it was fun to look at.
Yeah, Tales from the Borderlands was one of my favorite games from them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the writing is just really funny.
Yeah, those the writers for, well, did they get like the same like does Telltale work with like other gaming studios to like get some of that talent in there as well, so there's consistency? Or?
I think they do some consulting, but I'm not entirely sure like how involved it is.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Uncharted. That's I believe that's the new Tom Holland vehicle as well, right? Like that's I think they just released a trailer with Tom Holland as Nathan Drake for the Uncharted movie.
Yeah, I'm not like super excited about that, but I hope it works out. HBO is like they're usually pretty good at like handling properties, so I'm expecting it to be good, but I'm not sure if I would have cast Tom Holland as a young Nathan Drake.
Yeah, that's been kind of the buzz around it, is people are like, why Tom Holland?
I just want them to keep him happy so he keeps doing Spider-Man movies. I just want him to not. He is my Spider-Man. I want him as Spider-Man for always and forever because it's Tom Holland. Fantastic. Are you working on any? What kind of projects are you working on now? Anything you can talk about?
Unfortunately I can't. Everything I do is pretty much under NDA.
Yeah.
Until it ships. I just finished something with Marvel, but I'm pretty sure I can't talk about it.
Oh, cool.
We're working on another spy game. I think it's been announced, so I can mention that.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Another VR. I'm gonna have to get myself a VR headset. They're just so expensive right now. Like I need to, I need them to like take a dip in price, and then I'll get one. But
yeah, you can probably get a used Quest 2 for like $250.
That's
So,
not bad.
and right now Quest is like 70% of the market share of VR, So
Okay.
you'll pretty much get all of the relevant games on Quest.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to be like that Rick and Morty episode where they go in and play. Is it like Dave the video game or something like that? It's or like Ted or it's like a person's first name.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. And he worked at like the carpet store and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Then he has a heart attack, but he comes back and like he basically just runs. He lives a life, and that's the video game. It's all like an
Just a
immersive video
regular
game
life.
thing. And and then he gets pulled out of the video game. He's still got all the memories of like the life that he lived.
Oh, so it's kind of like a Total Recall situation.
Yeah. It's super messed up.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because that's like actually based on a variation of the simulation theory that a lot of people believe. They think that we exist in a simulation for other people to like play a game, and that's what that storyline was based off of. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm like, if I'm a simulation, if people are playing my life as a game, they're doing really poorly. Like, no, not really poorly, but they're, it's I'm like, come on, y'all, aim for that high score. Hello, one Syrian. Is that I'm gonna one Syrian? That's how I.
Oh yeah.
Trying to pronounce people's screen names is not the the easiest thing in the world. It never can be.
Yeah, but we do like to say hello to.
But we do like to say hello. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, that's my friend Lawrence.
Oh, Lawrence,
Awesome.
thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. So what got you into doing like this kind of stuff? Like, what was your kind of I don't know, your origin story for this?
Yeah, so I'm not actually like that into video games. I'm sure you can tell. I'm focusing on computer graphics mainly because I want to work in movies.
Yeah.
So I went and I studied game development, and I got like my specialization in computer graphics. And although I'm working in games, it's kind of similar to what I would do in movies, doing this kind of work.
Oh, very cool.
At some point, I'm gonna transition into movies. I'm considering starting like a movie studio.
Ooh.
That would be awesome.
Not like a movie studio, like a VFX studio.
Got it. I was gonna say I know some actors. If you ever need somebody to put on one of those suits with like the little balls on it, I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, that was actually one of my research projects when I was in school.
Oh, really?
Cool.
I used a bunch of Kinect cameras. I had like 12 of them in like rows of 6, and they have an API for you to collect like skeletal data, but it's kind of jittery. So what I would do is I would collect the skeleton data from all 12 of them and then average it so that it was smooth, and it was actually surprisingly like good. It worked pretty well.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. I love the whole mocap thing. Like that's the coolest. That's just the coolest thing. Have you seen? There's a show on Apple TV called Mythic Quest. Have you watched any of that?
Yeah, I've seen the first episode. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, they just got brought on for a third and a fourth season, which I'm pretty stoked about. The first and second seasons are fantastic, but there's a whole scene where he goes into the mocap suit. And he's trying to, doing all this stuff he's got this shovel that he wants to put in the game, and he thinks it's going to be the best weapon in this like MMO game. It's the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the guy that plays Mac. I can't think of the actor's name. But he's it's a really good cast, and it's really really fun.
So obviously you know a little bit about the movie Twister. Were there any other specific movies that like were really interesting to learn about, or ones that you saw and you were like, oh, that's so cool, I want to do that?
Yeah, actually, so the movie that like got me really interested into VFX was Monsters Inc. Because even as a child, like I would look at these movies and I'd kind of be able to like figure out how they did some of the special effects, but they had to invent so much new technology for Monsters Inc. that I literally had no idea what it was doing, and then that got me into like looking into movies and how VFX works and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember going and seeing that movie in the theater, and like like Sully's fur when he's in like when they shove him into the uh, like the North Pole or wherever the abominable snowman is, right? Like the just like seeing the fur move with the wind and the snow on it and everything was just unreal, unreal. How long does something like that take?
I believe it took them 9 months to develop that technology.
Oh man.
It was pretty interesting. What they did was they have like a texture that they use. They map it to the 3D model, and it has a density. They use the density to like determine how much fur is going to be in different parts of the model, and then they simulate the fur moving using like lines and points on the line. And to make it easier to simulate, what they do is they have like a limited number of those lines that they simulate, and they kind of like blend between the nearest lines, and each individual hair gets placed based on the blending.
That's insane.
So-
That's insane.
Do you know how long it took them to make the whole movie?
The production timeline, I think, was 20, 28, 29 months.
Good Lord.
Wow.
Yeah, because if it took them just 9 months to do like a bit in the
Figure out
movie
how to do the
that
fur.
lasted maybe 45 seconds, you know. Yeah, I remember seeing like when the Lord of the Rings, the first Peter Jackson movies came out, seeing all the things that they were doing with like visual effects, you know, to make this like live action, but without like he kind of went overboard with I feel like with the Hobbit movies, and I don't really watch those, but I watched the first couple and I was like, nah, I'm done, I'm good. But all the crazy stuff that they did in those first three movies was just unbelievable what you can do with like the virtual effects and things.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So what's so Monsters Inc. Any other movies that kind of like inspired you to get into what you were doing?
Yeah, so also I think it was The Matrix was one that kind of blew me away. I know how they did it now, but that scene when they like froze the rain, uh, that was also new to me because like water simulation wasn't like invented until like 2001. So like it was like very new at the time to do something like that, and it was just like super impressive to see something like that. I had no idea what they did to get that working at the time.
I just rewatched that movie for the first
Oh
time
yeah,
in
because isn't there
like,
another?
there's a
coming
fourth
out?
one coming out. And I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
I want to watch all three of them, but that first one, the first one is so good, and it still holds up. The effects are still like spot on. Like it doesn't look like it was made. Like when was that movie made? In the early 2000s.
Yeah, I think it was like 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was. Oh no, it was 99. It wasn't even
99.
2000. It was
Yeah.
Oh wow.
yeah, it was just like right at the end of the 90s there, which makes sense because everybody was freaking out about Y2K, and it's like, oh,
That's true.
the computers are going to take over. You know, I loved how they referred to that was the only thing that was a little funny at this, that start talking about like the internet, you know, like the like what the internet is to that movie, you know, is very, very funny, but like it still holds up. Like it's such a good movie. I haven't moved on to the second and third one yet, just because I'm like, I know that they're not as good. So I'm like, do I really want to rewatch them? I probably will
Yeah.
at some point.
There is one scene that's kind of bad though. Is the one where there's like a bunch of the different agent fighting. The 3D animation is just like really bad. It was the last scene that they did, and they didn't have a lot of time. I think they changed it. They did a remaster where they changed it.
And that's
in
the
the
second
original
one,
is
right?
called.
With all the, is that where they do the huge agent fight, or is that in the first one?
I think that's the first one.
Okay.
Is there what are some of the some more recent movies that you've seen that you've been impressed with?
I'm kind of impressed with Shang-Chi. The the just the sheer number of different types of simulation that they had to do for that one movie is pretty ridiculous. I mean, when you look at the credits, you can see that they used like over 250 different VFX studios,
Oh
and
my gosh.
Really?
yeah, coordinating something like that must have been pretty wild on their part.
So how
Well,
many like on one movie, how many VFX studios like is more average?
Uh, Anywhere from like 10 to 50 is common, because there's a bunch of different studios that are like super specialized in like one thing, and you
mhm.
hire them for like a couple seconds of footage.
Yeah, but
That's
the amount of
insane.
work that goes into those few seconds is crazy. Like it's so much, but that's awesome. It's what makes it it's what makes those movies. I mean, for lack of a better term, magical, right? Like it's just like that kind of thing where it's like, oh God, I can't believe we can do that, right? Yeah, Shang-Chi was great. I'm like the Marvel does like, I mean, they're a juggernaut. They've got they probably can get, however many studios they need to work on something. They've got the money to pay for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always tell people this. Marvel is such a big player in the VFX game right now that if they went under, like 30% of all the VFX work would just drop out.
Wow.
Oh my
There's a lot
gosh.
of studios that are so heavily reliant on regular contracts from Marvel that they would have to downsize, or like they might go under if Marvel also went under.
Well, that makes me happy because I'm one of those people that love, like, I will watch anything Marvel puts on the screen and I will enjoy it and I will be happy to watch it. Uh, yeah,
That's good.
I'm just, I love the MCU. I love the MCU so
Yeah.
much. It's so good. I just finished What If, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a pretty good show.
Good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, love me some Marvel.
Was there a particular scene in Shang-Chi that you really, really liked?
Um, there's a couple of scenes in Shang-Chi where I was just impressed at the quality of the work.
Hmm.
The one in the where he's like seeing the dragon under the water. Uh,
That was
that
dope.
that particular scene was very impressive to me because um, I've tried to render things like that underwater, and getting the caustics, the light rays to come through the water and look accurate as the water is like simulating is extremely difficult. But they nailed that. And then also the sheer size of the dragon makes it like technically challenging to render. It's like the size of a model makes it difficult to compute the lighting, and computing lighting in that type of situation where you have the caustics, it's very expensive. So like something like that would have taken like three to 400 hours of rendering time
Oh
to
my
render
gosh.
just for like a 7 second clip.
You don't really realize the amount of time that goes in to like making these movies. Like it's what, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, like, it never goes over, you know 3 hours, unless, I mean, sometimes it does. But
It's in a
just
while. Yeah.
like the monumental task that it is to put something like that together, like all those people working all those hours, it's crazy,
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. Do you have any projects that you're excited about right now? Like anything that it might not be something you're working on, but something that you've heard is coming down the pike that sounds like it's gonna either change up the game or just be awesome.
Yeah, so there's this studio, Weta Digital. They're the ones that did the Lord of the Rings movies that you like,
Okay.
and they also worked on Avatar. they invent some of the most like impressive VFX technology, like some game changing stuff, and they just announced like 2 months ago that all of their tools are going to be available for rent now,
Oh
and
wow.
so now other studios will be able to use all of the crazy stuff that they use. So the VFX game is going to
Great.
be changing because they're usually like 5 to 6 years ahead of the other studios with their technology. They invented a lot of stuff that other studios rely on today. So now you'll be getting all of this stuff that they developed only like months after instead of years after.
Wow. And if they're putting it out
So
there for
great.
other people to use, then that probably means that they've got something else that they're going to be using that's going to be like
Next level. Yeah.
leaps and bounds. Yeah, next level stuff. Are you excited to get to like is the studio you work for? Are they gonna get you those sweet toys?
Probably not, but I may be working on a Netflix movie, and if they need it, they'll probably pay for it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, awesome.
that'll be cool.
Yeah, fantastic. That's really really cool. Well, Joe, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been great. I'm excited to see kind of what your studio is putting out there.
All right.
All right. Well, have a great rest of your day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Take care. Fantastic. Like it's insane the amount of
That's
just
really
what
cool
technology
that they're
can do.
like sharing. The studio is gonna be sharing the technology because then it just like gives more people a chance to try more new things, and it's
Right.
gonna just up the game all around.
I like when we say sharing, but it's like they're
They're
not just they're
sharing.
they're not like
making
here's
profit.
a
They're getting a little slice.
they're getting, I would say,
They're getting a big slice.
pretty big
Hefty
slice.
Yeah.
It's a nice hefty slice.
Hefty slice.
I don't know why I turned into a guy from the Jersey Shore ordering pizza. It's a nice hefty slice, bro.
Big slice. Is that Jersey Shore?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know anymore.
Who knows anymore?
Who knows anymore? Chloe, I wanted to say at the top of the show
Yes.
how amazingly blue your eyes are looking today.
Thank
Like,
you.
look at that. Like, just lift
Yeah,
lift those up a little bit.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
You
oh,
showed
please.
me
Look at that
your
sticking on there.
what
Yes,
that
I
was.
have.
Why don't you bring that out?
Okay, well, so here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
I went to the RMV on Wednesday, and it's not a place I like to go.
What?
and-
You don't enjoy going to the RMV?
Surprise. I have a lot of anxiety built up around this.
But the people there are so happy.
Well, so here's the thing, though. So it's specifically the RMV in Massachusetts. Like, I've had like pretty good experiences with like RMVs.
Can I
in
ask,
States.
like in Wisconsin,
Mm-hmm.
do they call it the RMV or do they call it the DMV?
They call it the DMV.
Okay, good,
Department
because
of
it
Motor
yeah,
Vehicles.
yeah. That was a big switch for me. I was like, what's
Yeah.
the
What is
RMV?
RMV?
Huh?
What is that?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
it's a
one
DMV.
letter, but it throws me off.
It throws me off.
So my most positive experience with RMV/DMV was when I was in Seattle. I went to get my driver's license, Seattle driver's license picture taken, whatever. And there was an older gentleman named Winslow who helped me out, and he taught me the secret of a good ID photo is to stick your head forward. It feels insane, but like doing this, it's gonna get you a good picture because there's not a whole lot of like dimension on their cameras are not exactly state of the art. So like
they
if you're back here
have
and the
not
angle,
used them
like
from the
sometimes
studio.
the double chin happens. Like if you just stick your head forward, it makes a world of difference.
Okay.
And then so I was like lulled into a false sense of security when I moved to Massachusetts, and I was like, it's gonna be like Winslow. It was not. I had to go when I changed my registration over to Massachusetts. I had to go back like 3 or 4 times, and every time someone yelled at me, and they were like, "You don't have this thing," and I was like, "Well, the other person didn't tell me that. Like, what? It's not because I'm not trying. Like, it was a whole thing. But this time, I did actually have a positive experience. I did not get his name, but he had blue nail polish. I complimented his blue nail polish, and he goes, "Thanks, I got it done for my birthday." And he was just like super chatty and pleasant, and like there was a thing that I needed to text my dad for, and he was like, instead of sending me away,
right,
he was like, "Okay, you just sit right there. I'm gonna put you on hold. I'll bring you back up after this next person." And we got it taken care of, and I don't have to go back.
Yay! Thank you, Blue Fingernail Man.
Thank you. Happy birthday to you, sir.
Happy birthday.
But so even despite that, I had already had like a bunch of anxiety built up just from like being in that space. And so the RMV I went to, there's a Target right there. So I went to Target to have a little
retail therapy
decompression session.
Mm-hmm. And what'd you get?
For Buddy Joe. And I got a Juvia's Place eyeshadow palette.
Bam!
Bam! Yeah, so Target now has an Ulta Beauty section, which is like similar to Sephora. So they have like more higher, like nicer makeup brands and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Juvia's Place is really awesome. It was created by a Black woman who, when you have a darker skin tone, a lot of times colors don't show up very well if they're not highly pigmented. And so she created Juvia's Place to make some really highly pigmented colors. And so as you can see, they're pretty bright. They really pop. They're amazing. And I'm not allergic to them, which is a pretty good sign that they're okay for most skin. But look at all these beautiful shiny colors. Look. I love them so much.
That's so cool.
These two colors today, and then I put some like black eyeliner with it, and then this one over here for a little highlight. But if you're looking for like a pop of color, Juvia's Place is awesome. And they have like the designs on the top of their palettes are like really cool. They have like a warrior series, and they have they just have like so many options. And
you can get a Halloween mystery box if you go onto their website for $16.
I do.
It's a $58 value. Juvia's Place is not a sponsor. We're just trying to maybe
wanted to sponsor
if they
us.
wanted, just throwing some business their way if you need some eyeshadow.
Yeah, they've got good eyeshadow. They've got some new eyebrow products out right now. I haven't tried them, but they look pretty dope. So definitely check them out, and support Black business.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are some pretty. Let's see those colors again. Get those colors.
Again. Let's pop them back up.
Colors. Pop those colors back up. Look at that.
Most of them.
Those purples, I think, are my favorite. Those are great.
They're really good.
Well, I guess that's what a dark blue at the top there.
Yeah. So this is called Chi.
Called Chi.
Yep. This is called Makita, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
These two colors. This is Dahlia and Zola. This one is Molly Bori. They're pretty dope.
Yeah, those look great.
And I'm psyched about it. Because last time I went and got a palette with this many colors in it, it was like the cheaper Target palettes, and I was definitely allergic to them. So
I love that your hair and your sweater and your eyes all kind of match.
We did it, everybody.
Whereas I'm wearing a pink shirt, a yellow and black hat. I'm all over the place. That's all right. That's how my life is.
That's what? It's a look.
It's a look.
It's still a look. Anything can be a look.
Yeah. So we're kind of coming towards the end of things today. Thanks, Sparky Boy Max. Thanks for coming. Have a good day. We've got there's like the next 2 weeks on 2MB is huge. We've got a lot of
It's gonna be
stuff going
wild.
on. This weekend in particular, on Sunday, is the series finale of
Whew.
Quarantine Action Wrestling. Quarantine Action Wrestling has been a staple of the
Yep.
2MB programming lineup for the last year and a half. They're amazing. They have just put hours and hours and hours of content out there. If you go to YouTube and look up Quarantine Action Wrestling, you can see all the things that they have done. And do yourself a favor and go back and watch these.
Oh,
They're hilarious. Like the commentary is great. The
so good.
the ads, the commercials, all the promos that the people put together for their wrestlers. Like it's just so much work goes into that show.
Yep.
And it is fantastic. So go and check that out. But Saturday, starting at 3 p.m., is the final free pay-per-view, the Scared Circle. The show is going to clock in probably between 6.5 and 7 hours long.
Oh my god.
It's no joke. It is going to be a long ass show, but
Okay.
I feel like a show of this magnitude deserves an epic conclusion.
Epic indeed.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a hole in the heart of a lot of people and 2MB Studios, but I'm excited to see what we come up with next. I'm excited to see what happens
New
next.
journey.
There's going to be something new. Something will fill the gap.
Yeah.
We just have to, be thankful for what it was, and not be sad. I don't know what that means, Rachel. Those first two words are just gibberish to me. Berliner Alexander.
Well, I believe
Platz.
that's German.
Sure.
Maybe. I don't really
Maybe.
know.
I don't know. It could just be a series of letters that she's typed into a certain order.
Look
I
like
don't.
names.
It looks like, yeah. So it's definitely do yourself a favor. Tune in and watch that finale. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a lot of fun. The chat is always off the hook during those shows.
Yeah.
Everybody gets in there and they place bets on you can bet your channel points on the outcome of these events.
Oh,
And
that's
unlike actual wrestling, we don't actually know who's going to win because it's all done through AI. So David doesn't fix these matches unless he does. I don't know. I haven't looked into the behind the scenes of the sheer amount of work that David puts in. It's real. I actually owe him a promo. I haven't done anything for the year. I did stuff at the very beginning, and then I haven't done anything.
Deadlift is going to make an appearance as well.
I need to put something in by I think tomorrow at noon. So tomorrow at 11:30, I'll put something together. Get it to David.
Yeah, I gotta bust out the face paint again.
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
Maybe I'll put maybe now that I've got the Juvia's place, I'll put a little pop of green in there.
Ooh, there you go. There you go.
Pop.
So that's this Sunday, and then next Sunday is Halloween, which is exciting. And we're actually going to be doing a fundraiser on 2MB, the second annual Laughing for Liberation, which is a fantastic comedy show. It's going to run from 6 p.m. to 9 on that Sunday. I think it's the 30th, or is it the 31st?
Wait.
I think it's the 30th.
I'm gonna double check.
No, it's the 31st. It's on Halloween, and we've got a ton of comedians. We're going to be raising money for Showing Up for Racial Justice Boston, and
That'll be awesome.
what is and they're the group that they work for, which is Rachel. If you could put that in the chat, that would be great because I don't remember what that acronym is for their other for the other organization. But that is that's the 31st from 6 to 9 right here on 2MB. That's going to be a great show. It's going to be a lot of fun. CCI, Community Change something. Incorporated? Community Changing.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Community Changing.
Oh, good.
So it's a fantastic way for you to see some awesome comedy and give some money to people that are actually out there and trying to do good in the world. There's so much bad in the world, and it gets focused on.
Yeah.
And we need to,
as Uncle Iro likes to say, if you look for the dark, that's all you will see. But if you look for the light, you'll find it.
It'll be there.
Yeah.
It'll be there. So come watch that show and support that cause. It's well worth it. And there we are. That's our time. Thank you all so much for watching. Chloe, do you have any words of wisdom for us as we go off into our weekend?
Words of wisdom? Check the weather, okay? It's fall. Temperature's going up and down. You might need a fall jacket. Take layers because it gets cold at night. I just want you guys to stay warm.
That's what we want. We just want what's best for you. All right. Well, we'll see you next week. Maybe we'll wear costumes. Who knows?
Oh, yes.
Maybe. All right, friends. Have a great weekend. See you next week. Bye-bye.